All right, hello my good friends. Doug here with the LincolnList.com. Welcome to another daily edition of Stock Market Mutterings. I just happened to lean up against this pole and I got real cozy, just like laying here. Oh, feels so good. It's literally supporting all of my weight. So I thought I'm gonna start out right here. So I tell you what, we saw something today. Something I haven't seen in a while. And you know why I like to bring these things up is because I always talk about screen time for traders, right? Why this is so important? Because over your tenure of just constantly looking at stocks and charts and all this stuff all the time and being exposed to the market, you start to pick up on these little nuances. And those little nuances help you get you ahead of the curve, help you see when things are coming, help you start to see different types of rhythm in the market, different types of patterns in the market, different types of biases and such like that. And there usually are warning signs. And I've talked about these before in many of my classes and stuff like that. So I saw something today that I'm not going to say is a red flag. I'm going to say maybe it's a tiny bit of a warning because we haven't seen something like this. And I know most of you know we saw a pretty hefty sell-off, but there was something in there was a little bit different and something that we need to look forward to, or not look forward to, I should say. We need to keep it in the back of our mind. Maybe it turns out to be nothing at all, but maybe it does. And the worst thing that you can do as a trader is not be prepared. If you only have one scenario thought out in your mind when you go into trading, you are screwed. Screwed you are. You've got to have plan A, B, and C. You've got to have a scenario for almost every situation because, like we've talked about before, the market doesn't give you what you want. In fact, it hardly ever gives you what you want exactly. It's always putting up a fight. It's always doing something that you don't want to do. And if you don't have a plan B, then you get pissed off because it takes away trades from you. If you miss one trade, then you don't have a backup. If it tanks in the morning, you're not prepared for that. If it goes parabolic in the morning, you're not prepared for that. If it doesn't do anything at all, you're not prepared for that. Like, you can't just survive as a one-trick pony on one thing through all the markets. You have to have a little bit of variety. You don't have to be spectacular in every one of those areas, but you have to know that. So what we look forward for, why do I keep saying looking forward? I'm not looking forward to anything, actually. I'm looking forward maybe to happy hour when I can open up the whiskey. Maybe I'm looking forward to riding my bike. Why do I keep using the words looking forward? Man, my speech, guys, my speech lately, it's like my tongue is, I don't know, whatever. So, see, I forgot what I was talking about. But we have to look for these clues, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. So how about we just talk about it? I'm having a hard time getting off of this pole. This is really nice, comfortable. I could probably just sleep here like this right now. So comfortable. I'm so comfortable. There's like a lot of people that tuned into this video. It's like, I want some education, and here's this jerk leaning up against the pole, falling asleep in the middle of his video. Okay, so let's walk over here to the station, all right? And let's see what we can come up with. Get you guys in here on the webcam. And let's talk. Let's talk some stuff. Okay, so here is what I want to talk about. Should move this mic over so it doesn't sound like I'm so far away. Okay. Look at that fade. That's not even a fade. That's like a dumpski on the SPY right there. I mean, the market took a smoker right at the close and just erased basically 2 to 3 days of activity, all within a short span. Now, what I was talking about looking for clues and stuff like this is that there are a couple of things. I remember that, like, for most people that traded for a long time, there was an actual solid strategy for years where stocks would constantly fade at the close. You started to see more fades at the close until the old 330 ramp joke sort of took place, and that's the way it's been. And the thought was always that a lot of these stocks ramp up, the market ramps up all day long, hangs up there, does the old ramping camp. And people that are doing day trading or short-term trading want to cut those positions, or they convert those into cash at the end of the day, and these things sell off. But we stopped seeing that. Now, the other thing is you're starting to see here a pattern of, let's say,
small violence. Small violence at the end of the day. So I got this spanned over a course of a couple of days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 days. Spanned over a course of 6 days. So what you have here, I don't know exactly what day this is. This is last Tuesday. Big dump right at the close. And I talked about this yesterday too, but they've all got bought back up, excuse me. Washed out here. The next day, this just extreme drop. And these are happening like the last 30, 40 minutes of the day. This one drops right late in the day. Big drop right here late in the day. Longer fade right here, so that's 3 days. A ramp right here. A drop right here yesterday. And then this really big time drop. So if you look at this here, what the picture's telling you is that 5 of the last 6 trading days, there have been fades at the close. That means the market did not close at highs. It was higher earlier in the day, only to fade. There was one of those that would actually be considered to be a fade. The rest of these are just sheer out dumps. So you've got 1, 2, 3. So half of those were just like a mass exodus. Now the thing is, those dips have been bought back up just as quickly as they came. So this one was bought back up the next day. So the next day when everyone woke up, most people woke up the next morning, this thing was back up towards high, flushed out here, next morning, back up to high, flushed out here, next morning, back up to high, flushed here, next morning, back up to high. Are we going to be back up to high tomorrow morning? If we follow that pattern, so this is where we're sitting right now. This was huge. This one was a little more aggressive on a lot more volume. Now, there's a couple of ways you can look at that. I know we got Powell speaking tomorrow. Might be some jitters in that. It could just be a fake out. This could turn into another buying opportunity. But I'm starting to see this pattern of washouts late in the day. Now, this causes concern because they're becoming larger and on more volume. And at some point, and I'm not saying that we're going to rally here and we'll go back to another strong week, but at some point here in the near future, guys, this isn't going to get bought back up. At least not with the same vitality and strength as it has been. So I'll be curious to notice, hey, are we going to end up going over 293 tomorrow? Or is this going to recover by the time we wake up and start trading tomorrow like it did the last couple of times? I mean, this is a big one right here. I'm still overall bullish. Like I said, I'm going to stick to my guns on this one until we start trading underneath of the 276s to the 271s. I think overall we're bullish. We're going to have, you're always going to have washouts, wipeouts, shakeouts, fakeouts. I mean, this could be just another opportunity. That's all. It could just be another, I'm trying to screw you guys out of your positions type of a market move. Yeah, it could easily be something like that. But this repetitive thing happened. Keep your eyes on it. All I'm saying going forward, guys, watch these late day fades. They're getting stronger and they're becoming more prevalent. And that means if you're looking at a really good long setup, better watch out as you're coming into the close, because this overnight risk, I can only translate that right now as an overnight risk where people just don't really feel like they want to take a shot there. Now, let's move on to stocks, because this could open the door for some buying or looking at potential short sales off of summits. I mean, you can't ignore the fact that stuff, we'll start out with NVIDIA, because you can't ignore the fact that these things are hella up. I mean, look at this daily chart. It's insane. Same way with Apple. And these are basically what we call power of the towers, where they've wiped out the previous day. And here's what we're talking about. This chart looked like well and good at just a little after lunch. And then it gets $15 and about 5% retracement in the last 2 hours. I mean, this thing got smoked. But it's only back to where it was 2 days ago. So when you're looking at these now, that's what it's going to show us. But we'll find out. So here would be my game plan. Yeah. If we start tomorrow with a flush, I mean, you get a build on this, a gap down, a panic down, or right as soon as this market drops. I'd go straight check mark style on these. I'd be looking for supports down in here like 301s, 300s, 294s. I think you would get a bounce because no matter what you're seeing here, this is where a lot of things. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know what I'm trying to say. I lose my place all the time. The misconception that a lot of traders have is like, I used to think that once you saw something like this would be the beginning of a correction. And it would just go down. And that would never, ever see the light of day again. It would just keep going straight down, straight down, straight down. It doesn't do that. Like, even if this is the beginning or the market's trying to tell us something that it's tired, that it's weak, these stocks are getting weaker, they're overbought, investors are getting jittery, whatever it might be, they just don't go straight down. There's too much money involved and too many people wanting in, and they're going to buy these dips, and they're going to continue to buy them. So there's going to be spots where they just don't go straight down. I would look for that. I would probably even start with this Apple, because out of all of these, this thing has been just relentless. I mean, just relentless. Look at this thing over the last few days. And even when it sells off, it doesn't even sell off that much. Like, I kind of like this one here. So I'm still bullish on any washout, any drop, any panic. I'm definitely still bullish. I'd look for all my big names that I talk about every day with you guys. Lulu, Nvidia, Netflix. These are what I traded today was Nvidia and Netflix. And ZM. I trade these. I trade this all the time. Every day. Nvidia, Netflix, ZM, Lulu. One of those, Tesla, one of those gets traded every day. And the SPY. I almost always trade the market via futures or the ETF. I've been moving more to the ETF because of commissions, because it's free now. But anyway, I circle the same wagon, and you guys know that. Look for those. AMD is another one there. Starbucks is another one there that has some potential. OKTA. So if we drop lower, I'm going to look to do that. If we begin the day with a rally or another gap up, you're going to start wondering about this late day fade. You know, that would be plan A would be flush them out, scare everyone, shake them down, buy these things on the dip, do red to green, give me some check marks, and start rallying the next couple of days. Sweet. If that doesn't happen and we go parabolic because they want to fight this dip and buy it overnight, then because of what we've seen, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious. I don't think I want to walk in front of that right now. I would be concerned with how that would stick. I would be concerned with that. Now, there's always a chance we get a sideways market, which you'll have all kinds of trades, but I think those are your two scenarios. You're looking gap flush down, parabolic, and I think if we go parabolic, we're going to come back. There's going to be some nervousness and some hesitation to want to chase into that move after seeing this, or you would at least think there would be. So those would be the two scenarios. If you feel that these are going to fade and we see the weaknesses, I would be looking at Wayfair to short. I'm still looking at Wayfair to short this damn thing. Or TWLO. These things have gotten so high. I'm not saying that they're bad companies, but damn, are they ever high. So let's watch that. Game plan is this. You got a speech tomorrow. This might be just nervousness. This is either going to be the beginning of something deeper or just another buying opportunity. It's going to be one of those scenarios. We're going to need more data to figure that out. Plan for me is we flush, we drop, we dump, we panic, any of that. Pick me one of these big tech names, one of these strong runners, Nvidia, Apple, Facebook, Netflix, Tesla, Docu, ZM, Lulu. Give me one of those who's ever closest into the support with the freakiest looking chart, and I'm long. If everything gaps and goes parabolic at the open, I don't like that. That's not what I really want to see. My plan for that would be to either let these things settle and base them, see what kind of pullback they have to possibly long them if I feel they're going to re-gear, or step over and think maybe we have a chance to short them because this market rip is not going to hold. We'll have to see if that happens and then assess by the tape which one we think might be the best scenario there. If I were to short, I would simply go with Wayfair and TWLO right now. Those would be my two shorts. Not because they're weak companies or sorry companies, just because I think out of all of them, those have had such intensified moves, so huge, that they would be the first to roll over. maybe not, but I would look for those. There could be some opportunity there. If we chop sideways, they'll be both shorts and longs, but let's just see where it goes. As always, if you guys need help, feel free to reach out to me, support at thelincolnlist.com. Join the trade room. Go to the link, thelincolnlist.com, click on the trade room tab, start trading with us live. Until tomorrow, guys, take care, trade them well. Talk to you then.